Ellie? Uh-oh. What you doing, man? Ellie, you can't lay on my arm. You clearly can. You're able to, but you shouldn't. I kinda need that arm to play the game. I'm sorry. You know better than to lay on my arm. Cute, but you can just lay on my lap. Hey, this is new. So the controller's synced, but it's not working. It's not registering. Okay, now it's blinking again. Go ahead, shut it off and turn it back on again. Again. Once again, I wonder I might need to update the firmware on the controller, and I don't know how the heck I would do that. There we go. So I'm a little conflicted about just memory of Zaid's mission. What my character would choose. Because I think it ultimately kind of depends on what, like, how bad this guy is. It's actually kind of interesting to me that I think my shepherd has made many of the same choices that Zandra made. A little different, like
Tapping into Blue Sun's communications. Stay tight and look out for ambushes.
I think with regards to loyalty missions, uh, he's been fairly different so far. Although I think there's only like one significant moral choice we've had. No way, there's been two. Okay, because we did Jack and we did Miranda's. I think that with regards to loyalty missions, um, uh, um, Justin has always been more on the side of nurturing goodness, and not letting Miranda take the shot. I'm pretty sure that he's not going to let Harris take the shot. Um, Spoilers. But like here, it's an interesting situation because it's actually a moral dilemma of sorts. Like on a surface level, do you let Saeed take revenge at the again spoilers for this entire mission? But the moral dilemma at the end of this is whether or not to help Zaid get his revenge or to help out these workers who are now in a dangerous situation. Thanks to Zaid's actions in going after this guy. Now, the difference between this and some of the other missions is that there are at least potential consequences for letting this guy get away. But heck, with Miranda, there's literally no difference because the guy dies anyway. Um, I'm not sure about Jack. Jack's. I don't think there's any particular consequences in Mass Effect 3 for letting Jack's um, peer. I'm not sure. Like classmate, not really. Wasn't really a class. Definitely not a friend. But like I said, that was very was also somewhat calculated. Like this guy never had a chance of starting the program up again. He didn't before, and he doesn't now. So he's kind of harmless. Um, the same thing goes for Nicola, or I think it was Nicola. Um, like the reason why Zandra let those things happen is mainly because revenge happen is because she has that edge to her personality. Where that renegade streak basically. Yeah, again, she's more of a renegade, and uh, Justin is more of a paragade. Um, but when it comes to like the actual dilemmas beyond just like do you take revenge or do you allow your ally to take revenge or stop them, like that's like a basic moral choice. of trying to prevent people from, I guess, giving into their baser instincts of wanting revenge and all that. With regard to Zaid, he's going after like one of the leaders of the Blue Suns, I believe. Like this guy, actually dangerous. He's actually a dangerous person. Like it's not enough that the person has done terrible things in the past. It's that they're likely to do more terrible things in the future if they are allowed to go on. And um, we've made choices like this in the past where it was kind of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few type of thing. And this version of Shepard is unafraid to make those calls. Doesn't make them lightly, but will make them when called to. Um, the only question is, will he make that call here? And I believe we can't actually. I think the problem, or the interesting thing here, is that I think we are in a position that Zandra was never in as well on a a metagame level. I believe. Um, I'm not actually sure. It's possible this could be another instance of you need to lean more toward Renegade or Paragon to actually successfully prevent Zaid from taking revenge. Because I think there basically is a Paragon path and a Renegade path to retaining his loyalty, even if you go against his wishes. I believe that actually is a thing. And given the fact that we are at this point fully Paragon, so we can kind of just go Renegade all we want, and it's not going to make a great deal of difference. Um, yeah, I think it's going to boil down to like how much evidence we're going to see of how dangerous this man is or could be moving forward, um, and whether it's worth potentially allowing a bunch of people to die horribly to I hate the buzzer sound. I'm not expecting someone to surprise someone freaking wants to get in and buzzing everyone until someone responds. I've already got a headache. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I just like the last time we made a decision that involved a bunch of people dying, it was in an explosion.
Squad Bravo, a shuttle landed near your location. Check it out. Here we go. Keep close.
And I'm not an expert, but like if you're that close to an explosion, you're it's probably going to be relatively painless. Again, spoilers for this mission, but there are a bunch of people. We end up setting the, or Zaid ends up setting this place on fire, suing this dude, and yeah, that's a terrible way to go. So, although as Jack says, there's no such thing as a good way to go.
Shot in the back and left to rot. That's definitely Vito's style. Let's push ahead. Command to Bravo. Take a position. Likely these people are not runaways. Report to base. Armed intruders incoming at the southern checkpoint. Yeah, right on your ass. Yeah, right on your ass.
Reinforcements incoming. We got your backs.
Can't get a lock. Can't reach the target.
Damn it, I can't reach G targets.
Sit down. Firing an impact. It's about to go off. All squads, fall back.
There can also be a bunch of people waiting in the wings who are going to be more terrible than this guy, potentially, or just as terrible. That will fill the power vacuum. Like, that other lady was promising, and we felt that she was relatively sincere that she was going to not be as bad.
This is Commander Santiago. If any of you retreat while the intruders are still alive, I'll kill you myself. Now get the hell back out there. Vito. Sounds like he hasn't changed.
I get the feeling you have a past with this Vito.
I knew he was a sadistic bastard back when we started the Blue Suns. The Suns only got meaner after he staged his little coup 20 years ago. So yeah, we have a past.
Why didn't anyone tell me you founded the Blue Suns?
Because it's not common knowledge. Vito wiped me out of the records. He ran the books, I led the men. Worked real well for a while. Then Vito decided to start hiring Batarians. Cheaper labor, he said. Goddamn terrorists, I said.
20 years is a long time to hold a grudge.
A grudge? Vito turned my men against me. He paid 6 of them to restrain me while he put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger. For 20 years I've seen that bastard every time I closed my eyes. Every time I sighted down on a target. Every time I heard a gunshot. Don't you call that a goddamn grudge?
You survived a gunshot to the head?
Yeah. And you survived your ship getting disintegrated. A stubborn enough person can survive just about anything. Rage is a hell of an anesthetic.
We'd better get moving.
Direct to Southern Axis. All squads mass at the gatehouse. Now!
They know we're here. Bring it on, you son of a bitch!
I don't think there's anything else here. Anyway, if I recall correctly, if we decide to go to the Paragon Path, which we might, who knows?
Squad Charlie, Delta, mass at the gatehouse.
So far, I feel well, it is a freaking. It's slightly more than a grudge, but I don't know if there's a word in the dictionary.
Zaid Masani, you finally tracked me down.
Vito.
Don't be stupid, Zaid. I have a whole company of bloodthirsty bastards behind me, ready to kill or be killed on my command. Actually, take your shot. Give my men a reason to put you down like the mad dog you are. Again. What was that? Gone nearsighted, old friend.
Burn, you son of a bitch.
You just signed your death warrant, Masani.
What the hell are you doing?
Is that how, I think there's a Will Skeleton Scream built mixed in there.
Opening the gate.
Don't sacrifice lives for the sake of the mission. There's always a better way.
Like what? Wandering out in the jungle for hours looking for another way in. You want to waste time out here? Go ahead. I'm gonna kill Vito.
You're endangering lives and the mission for your own selfish revenge.
You really want to do this, Shepard?
I had to knock you the hell out. But thanks to you, we have a burning refinery to save.
Let these people burn. Vito dies, whatever the cost.
Help! We're trapped! We can't get to the gas valves to shut them off! The whole place is gonna blow!
No time. Vito's probably halfway to the shuttle docks by now.
You're willing to watch these people die?
Damn right I am. We stop to help these people and Vito gets away. And if he gets away, I'm blaming you.
I think we can calm him down and retain his loyalty if we are Paragon enough to basically turn him around. Also, like of all the characters, I will say like he's probably one of my least favorite because of just how like he's kind of a cliche anti-hero. Like James is James. Is he James? Jacob. James is his best friend. Like Jacob is kind of bland, but
We're here to free these people. We're going in.
I knew this was a mistake. If we're gonna do this, we'd better get to it.
basically revenge can wait. And we're by killing him. We're just going to create a power vacuum that is going to get filled by who knows who. And I want to try doing things differently this time. Especially since this is probably going to be an entirely different path, too.
The doors won't open until the fire's out.
We can't go around. Like, we could hop over this way. May have a way around.
I'll take it. This looks interesting.
Feuer frei!
That fuel tank's coming loose. Shoot it! Bring it down on top of them.
Really?
Firing an impact drone. Right on your ass.
Yep. Yeah, bed kit. Here we can. I know, he's getting away, he's getting away. We gotta get all the loot. There's a lot of moolah out here, okay? Okay, so it's just a spawning corridor. Another spawning corridor. I'm not sure what to think about that. I mean, it would have been better if we just couldn't get through there.
This time, Saeed, you son of a bitch. See you in another 20 years.
You just cost me 20 years of my life. Ah, son of a bitch. Oh,
Zaid, you alright?
the hell do you care? I'm fine. Now come on, get me out of this shithole.
I gotta say, I don't want you on my ship.
You put your revenge ahead of the mission. How can I trust that you'll be there when we need you?
I'll do what I was goddamn paid to do, Shepard. Just don't expect any more than that. Stop screwing around. Let's go.
You put your own goals ahead of the mission. That's not the way this works.
I've survived this long watching my own back. No time to worry about anyone else.
You're part of a team now, Zaid. There's no way we can do this unless we're all working together.
You have a point. I'm not done with Vito, but I can put that behind me long enough to get your mission done. Let's get the hell out of here.
I think that might be the only way. I mean, there's no like grayed out renegade option. So if you're gonna be Paragon here, you better be freaking Paragon. Which I kind of like. I'm not sure if this is ever going to be a positive necessarily, but I might give it a control positive for that actually. If it leads to or interaction positive, to be more precise. Oh yeah, database notes. I'm also going to give it a. It's all going to be rolled into one, but I think I just accidentally patted your head. Patted your head there. Okay. But yeah, I mentioned that I could complain that like it does require Paragon, or it appears to require Paragon. Um, but I find it somewhat appropriate that it requires Paragon.
No messages for you, Commander.
Not sure actually. Ellie, what the heck? Why are you batting at me? What are you batting at me for? Sorry, did I poke you someplace that you didn't like? I didn't mean to. Damn, I'll laugh if you want. You can leave if you want to. As Grunt, we haven't done his loyal commission, so I don't believe we have anything else to talk to him about. Now, I think I'll give this game a positive if Tally acknowledges our relationship with Jack. I think she may have. Like, that's why I like in
Thinking
any.
about past missions. Got a minute? You might learn something. Tough fight on Horizon. I fought slavers and kidnapping rings, but nothing like that. Some slavers took a little girl on a colony in the Skepsis system. Girl woke up, fought her way out, got picked up by my band well on her way to Omega. 8 years old. She'd have had no chance on Horizon. Collectors and Protheans. It's all above my pay grade. I'm more used to putting down rebellions, tracking down bastards who didn't pay their gambling debts. Still, even I know a galaxy-shaking revelation when I hear one. Makes fighting land wars for pay seem small time. I should let you go. Talk more later, Shepard.
That's interesting. There's no real debrief. There might be if I helped them. Though I feel like there should be more of a thing if I didn't.
No messages for you, Commander.
I don't know. I can't remember if I may or may not have given a negative already for the fact that the DLC companions feel distinctly different from the regular.
Half of your remains.
It probably deserves at least one negative, I think, maybe. Here's the next Firewalker one. Oh, there's actually two. Kobayashi. Is there a planet here called Maru? Feels like a missed opportunity.
Anomaly detected.
Nope. Okay. Well. There you go. That one is like really close to the star, so I can't quite see its orbit. Okay. Cool.
Anomaly detected.
Probably gonna.
Probe launched. Something on our sensors.
Another volcano? Hey, Ellie. Gotta take another note. I think. We haven't done the Cerberus squad lately. Although. Oh, yeah, I like Red. Might take him with us just for, I hope there's any actual combat, so we just bring in dialogue.
Primary systems online.
Besides my personal desire to romance Kasumi. Yeah. Like, that's kind of what spurred this on, and something I've been thinking about for a while. I hope I hadn't made a note of it before. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to type any of this up, at least not right away. Um, like, I might consider it in the future, but this is a lot of notes. I'm probably just going to, like, collate the results and, like, do a video, like, reporting it afterwards. But yeah, like, I don't expect it as, like, a change to this remaster because it is just that, a remaster. Um, Now, my personal preference would have been to actually do this as a combination remake and remaster. Would have been great for this. And there is a degree of remaking, but like I said, for Mass Effect 1 in particular, it's more just polish. But I think there's probably a certain degree of polish throughout the trilogy. Um, but like the core gameplay and the core experience and interactions and so forth are the same. There's no additional dialogue. There's no additional romance options for Femshep. There's no restoring that, even though they already had a little bit of the dialogue already recorded, and it may have actually been very not that difficult to like get um, uh, the voice actresses for Jack and Femshep back to just record whatever dialogue may have been missing. Um, Courtney and if it's Courtney Taylor, I think maybe it's funny how I can't remember the voice actress for Jennifer Hale. Um, I wouldn't mind if they gotten back everyone, even if they sound just a little tad bit older than they should be in the extra content. I'm not sure how exactly I would handle the DLC characters. I try my best to incorporate like their regular stuff into like obviously like observing like their stuff in their quarters would be still be there. That'd be the easiest part. The hardest part would be how to try to seamlessly integrate the stuff that they would say when you just randomly talk to them into like a more conversation tree type thing. It may just be a matter of like having a dialogue option where you can just trigger these things. It might be a little more clunky, but like got any stories of your adventures to talk about, and you have to go ask them over and over again until you exhaust their current random um, stuff. It's also possible that it could just be made into a one per mission rather than like a five or however many it is per mission. Because are so many missions to do. Um, there could even be a thing where it's like one per. I don't know. Or like she just goes for all five of them. Although if they're randomized, then that means that like I had to have like I don't know, that would be like the easy way to do it, but there'd still be little issues with it because it would be kind of unusual, at least for a new player, to like get used to the idea that like there's one dialogue option that like actually like gives you random bits of stuff and you don't have to you can use it more than once. Like because with every other character there's nothing like that. So yeah, the main challenge of doing it of revising it would be beyond just like having to get the voice actors back in. Um and to have someone write the new interactions. Um, like, if money isn't an object here, and I guess scheduling too, um, and we could just kind of remake various aspects and improve various aspects of the game as much as we wanted. Um, it could also just be like stepping into the quarters at certain points will trigger a cutscene, which could be a good middle ground. Or like speaking to them will at various points in the mission will just trigger an actual dialogue thing. And that could be one thing, actually. That could be the best solution, actually. Like basically be like, okay, you can you can speak of them at various points. Like after doing particular missions, they may have something to say. They may have a bit of a dialogue branch and romance options potentially. Um, I mean, there'd have to be something of at least a little bit of a discussion, I guess, of whether or not Kasumi should be romanceable. Um, because it would be interesting to just have have like I'm kind of in some ways for the idea of like not having Zaid be romanceable and not having Kasumi be romanceable. Because they just like it could be a little bit like Morden. They're just like I mean Morden. There's reasons beside that. Just that their their mating instinct is very different than other species, which is actually rather interesting for like such a short, lived or lived, however you want to pronounce it. Let's call the whole thing off. Um, I actually kind of like this, the sound of short-lived. It might be just because it's different from was how I kind of understood it to be pronounced. It's kind of like Jaguar. Like I like the sound of Jaguar better than Jaguar rather than Jaguar. Although strangely, when it comes to potato, tomato, and tomato, I actually prefer the regular. When it comes to food, anyway, I think the best way to implement it would be to just they'd be a little different, but like not feeling like they're missing anything because they have like the ability to toggle for different options, and we still lose the ability to have them like have repeatable interactions, like once the conversation with them is over, it's kind of locked out because then it switches to vanilla mode basically, um, where you just talk to them and they have different stories. Um, but that would be a good middle ground between retaining kind of the feature itself of talking to them and hearing different stories and observations and such, um, while also having a little more of a story thing. But like, I kind of like to have the option to romance Kasumi. Like that's just personal though. I'm sure there's a lot of women um, and people who are attracted to people like Zaid. I mean, we already kind of have an unromanceable character in Morden. Although strangely, he probably would be the only one I'd actually consider romancing as FemShep. Interestingly enough. And like like we already kind of have, at least within the context of these games, we already have unromanceable characters. So I think like from that standpoint, I don't think we need any more unromanceable characters. So I probably would say make both of them romanceable. Like, granted, Kasumi has her baggage with her, her deceased boyfriend, but that could be part of it. Like, that could be like kind of part of the arc of that romance option would be her having to move on. Like, just like the arc of romancing Jack is her having to learn to trust and not be afraid of that kind of commitment. So there's like ways of making that work. And Zaid would have like his own. I'm not sure exactly how I would write Zaid's romance. Um, I mean, it would be interesting to make him bi. Just have a bi male character. Um, like that I would want to romance him either way, but I'm not sure if Kasumi should be bi, especially if we're going the a kind of quasi remake route, and already making Jack bi, then I don't think we need to like that way we have we're covering the gamut. Um, doing things Dragon Age Inquisition style. Um, where it just happens to be a character of nearly every conceivable sexual orientation. Or you can go the Dragon Age 2 route where everybody's bi. Or everyone just happened, or like they're either bi canonically or they. The canon is kind of up to you. It could be that they just happen to be attracted to whatever gender your character is. Um, in your particular playthrough. Anyway, I've actually finally reached the point where my controllers, um, but I mean, regardless of whether or not the decision would be to include romance, it would be interesting just to have proper interactions that make them at least closer to, um, like if I were designing this game from the beginning, that would just be how they're implemented. In terms of like a remake or particularly polished remaster, um, when we're actually adding content. That's probably how I would implement it. Is that there should be certain points where you can engage them in the conversation, and afterwards you revert to the default. Again, if I were doing this from the ground up, um, if I were just making Mass Effect 2, and there wasn't an original Mass Effect 2, I would make the DLC characters no different from, like, they'd basically be like, Javik in Mass Effect 3. There's no difference, functionally. They're fully integrated, and, if it wasn't the point of losing something that was in the original, but again, it would be a balance. It'd just be kind of NPCs with a little something extra to them, and minus the fact that you can. I mean, there still would be a little bit of weirdness because, there would be a little because characters have little dialogue options where you can like ask them about different things. Um, Potentially, we could integrate some of the dialogue that they had in the original maybe rewritten a little bit to be more of a response to a particular inquiry. That'd be the other way to approach it. Um, but anyway, um,
Adverse geothermal activity has rendered pathfinding function inoperable. Please use manual controls to locate research base.
well, that's interesting. Could this be an information negative? I mean, I'm not ruling it out. The information negative would probably be more. It's like the visibility on that one planet that we went to, where there's like a fog, and there's decreased visibility, because that felt like a deliberate design choice. And the well, as I mentioned before, like when we talk about like the durability in Zelda, yeah, weapon durability is a deliberate design choice. At the same time, it's a bad deliberate design choice. Um, it's poorly thought out. So the question on this level is, it would be an information negative, but it's deliberate. Like there's a degree to which it can be an oversight or a bug that there's no pathfinding or the pathfinding is terrible. Or your ability to you know find the path is terrible for one reason or another. Like that would be automatically a negative. But because it's by design means we had to explore whether or not um, other aspects of this level's design pick up the slack for the lack um, of that element of information. Is it super easy to get lost? Is it super easy to just not know what to do? Um, is it needlessly difficult? Well, that might be a negative. There's no real reason besides just taking away part of your capabilities and to artificially make it more difficult. Um, and it feels like it adds more frustration and proper challenge. That's a negative. Um, anyway, I've been talking way too much about stuff. We need to actually play the game. Also, another freaking lava planet. Are all of these lava planets? I mean, I know it's called the Firewalker, but still, we need like a slightly different aesthetic.
Warning. Area compromised due to unstable volcanic activity. Mineral resources detected. Extraction complete.
I'm not sure what the point of that whole like drift thing is.
Acquired. Extraction complete. Research base entrance ahead. Extraction complete.
Well, that's interesting. and about our ability to. Hey, we got the first one first. Species log 1. We had detected a site of incredible significance located beneath the volcano. The unpredictable terrain will make retrieval of any data extremely hazardous.
I was right. This site was a roadmap leading to the main Prothean ruins. Dr. Aloy and I agree that this must remain a secret at all costs. I will not allow another Eden Prime to occur. The Geth, the Reapers, all of them, they must be stopped. Activation of research-based power grid has triggered additional volcanic instability. Recommend immediate departure.
Come on, we need to leave.
Okay, select 2. Let me read this. The health planet is a star map that points to the appropriate planet of major significance. Dr. Aloy and I have mere hours to shoot all we can before the conditions become too dangerous to continue. It's already too late that volcanic stability is magnified by our power grid. If only we had more time to study this. Should have keep unlocking everything is here. Everything. Damn this planet. This is probably another example of artificial urgency. Hopefully, in case we have some stuff that we haven't properly. Yeah, it was already like that. So. If there are parts we hadn't properly explored, then
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
I'll take it in my cabin. Gotta feed my fish. Where's the security breach? We can't use the sink? I wonder if it's just new. It's also possible that like, the mirror that was in the original game was like a generic video game mirror where like it looks kind of shiny but there's no actual reflection. There's rumors that they're using Unreal Engine for Mass Effect 5, as the particular article referred to it, which is weird because like everyone else has been calling it Mass Effect 4. Why are you suddenly deciding it should be called Mass Effect 5?
Fuel reserves at 50%.
Never even get go to the system that the IFF is in until we're actually ready, because there's like no point to. I don't think there's gonna be any missions there besides that one. You know, for like 100% on exploration, all you need to do is go to all the other planets and look at them. Didn't we do something on here in Mass Effect 1?
Anomaly detected. Launching probe. I have found something.
Where'd my Ellie go to? Have increased duration or more impact radius. I think I could go for impact radius. Uh-oh.
Scanning for mission objectives. Mission objectives located.
I was thinking this is a more linear, which is actually kind of good for a more combat focused mission. It's definitely not quite as OP as So I kind of wish we had actual oh boy. Or this one.
Warning. Geth forces detected.
Oh, okay. I'm used to zooming in. Also, we get killed. I'm. Yep, we got killed. That is an information negative. I'm sorry. There's the alarm that we're about to get killed. That is insufficient. That is freaking insufficient. What if we're deaf? What if we're hearing impaired? That is a negative. Particularly if we're hearing impaired. We're not, or I'm not, but lack of a visual indicator. Whether or not it deserves a control negative has yet to be seen. I'm not sure how I could have freaking avoided that. There isn't exactly a whole lot of like cover to be found. But that would definitely be a control negative. Like forgetting the fact that like we've already done an information negative. Oh god, we have to restart the entire freaking mission. That is a control negative already. My god, we're restarting the entire mission. That might make 2 control negatives. Like, I probably could have quick saved, but the fact that I have to is an issue. Is a legitimate issue. Like, it's a good idea to give players the option to control when and where their game saves, but to fail to have autosaves is also a control issue. Because, again, it's the cardinal. Um, it's a weird thing because it comes between um, the cardinal kind of rule of control, and I guess information of just game design in general. Actually, it is that it should never feel like it should always feel like it's the player's fault when they get a setback or they fail at something. Here, I mean, the death itself, we're gonna see. It only happened once so far. Um, Again, it's gonna be a control negative. We already gave it an information negative. It is not a sufficient indicator of, like, basically earlier we got that alarm and I didn't have to take cover or anything. You know, that may have been sheer luck, but still, like, and would the lack of cover be information or control? Huh. It probably would be control or interaction. I mean, it's another area where interaction would be a better term. So I'm actually kind of leaning toward the idea of interaction in general because cover is something you can interact with. You can't really control what the cover is, but you can interact with it by getting behind it. Um, as far as I can tell, you can only back up to make yourself harder to hit. And that would be a control issue if there is no way to, like, find cover or easily back up from enemies. It also means that there are effectively two states of your ship. Either it's dangerously low on health, or or shields, or it's not. And that's all of this indicated here. You know, am I one shot away from getting killed, or am I just, you know, a little low on shields and, you know, can I take a chance? Because this is an area where, again, this is where information and control kind of intersect, although not in a confusing way, or a way that confuses the categorization. But in a way that basically information can contribute to control because the more information I have on what the status of my Firewalker shields are, we're just gonna call them shields. Um, the more I can make informed decisions on how to tactically approach the situation. Like, do I need to retreat or back off because I'm very critically low, or am I just a little low? And whether or not it gets a control negative is going to be based or a further control negative. Because the autosave thing is, well, again, it's that notion of, does it feel like your fault? Now I could say, well, argument could be made that it's my fault because I didn't quick save. I have the option to quick save, although that option is not quite readily available on most consoles. Um, I have it here, and we're kind of reviewing this version of the game anyway. Um, and we'll test whether or not we have the option to quick save. We probably do. But the thing is, you still have that wiggle room to blame the game, especially if you're getting far into a level, like two objectives in, and there was no autosave. We made a reasonable, like we're like 2/5 or practically halfway through the mission at this point, like just short of halfway through the mission, maybe somewhere around the range of a third or so, and there wasn't any checkpoint. There wasn't any autosave. I was mentioning about that, like, this is our very first experience with combat in the vessel. And, like, while the buzzing should clear you off at your low on health, again, there's no indication that is exactly how low on health you are. So, like, how many, again, I can't make informed decisions either. Um, so it doesn't really feel like my fault. You have a certain reasonable assumption that you should have an autosave at certain points. And maybe I was taking for granted that there would be autosave. Maybe I wasn't even thinking about quick saving. And I think, well, that's the point I was actually trying to make, is that I wasn't fully aware that we were at, like, how much of a risk we were of getting damaged and losing our progress.
Geth dropship detected.
Ellie? Hey, now that I need to quick save, you're gonna lay on my arms. I'm sorry. We can't save. That is actually a legitimate control negative. There is no autosave or ability to save anywhere. I'm sorry, I had to yell. That's unacceptable. That is completely and entirely unacceptable. That deserves a second negative. Because not only does it have a lack of autosave, but you can't quick save. You cannot save. I don't feel like that's even a like something I could fold into the existing negative. Because it's an entirely different thing. Like, if you had no ability to manually save, but it auto-saved, that would be only one negative. But the fact that there are, at least so far, no autosaves, that is two negatives. That is worthy of two negatives. Now, if we get, like, to the third checkpoint or something, and it autosaves, I might consider getting rid of the autosave. Or the checkpoint negative. But the fact that I cannot even create my own checkpoints, that is a negative. I'm sorry, Ellie. Actually, no, I gotta make another point. Regardless of whether or not you were in combat, all caps, unacceptable. That is textbook bad game design. Like, if I were to write a textbook on game design, it actually might be very short because it's just like you need interaction, you need control. You need to make sure that players feel like they have enough control to where if they fail at something, it is their fault. And they have to have enough information and control to, they have to have enough information to know to to realize how they failed and to correct for that. Um, and to understand that their lack of information contributed toward their failure. Um, and that their failure has a strong instance of is based upon way too many factors they couldn't have accounted for, or you know you're not providing them with the proper tools to deal with the situation. That also creates that. So basically, any failure on the part of the player can that any fail state for the player can be based on a lack of information. So, in this case, the lack of an actual health bar for the firewalker. Then the lack of control means that we are unduly punished by restarting the entire damn mission. No matter where we are in the mission, we have to restart the entire thing if we fail at any point. And there's no checkpoints, even the checkpoints that we can't control. Like, again, it combines to two negatives because there's, if you don't even have the decency to, give me checkpoints that I can't control. In a mission where we can't save anywhere, for no frickin' reason whatsoever, other than they just decided to be assholes. I don't think we can even get. I don't think we have the option to exit the vehicle at all. To save. Yeah, this is bad game design. Like, I can rage quit at this point. Like, if it comes to. Like, I beat this, I know it's beatable, but. I may be stubborn, but like, but I think like having to start over is already antiquated game design. I just feel like I should, it is, the autosave negative. I was thinking like, okay, well, it is partly my fault for not, quick saving, but I was literally unable to do so. So, oh come on, like that from the acid, like that there. If I died there, it would feel like my fault. I have a little bit of cover here, not a lot, but a little. No ability to save. And no autosave. If we don't get an autosave after the third artifact, that just locks in a negative. If we die again at any point, that may lock in my potential hypothetical further control negative.
Warning. Hostile forces approaching.
We have a little bit of cover. Potentially. And of course, distance also protects us a little bit. Also, I think there's a Colossus here too. I have to remind myself that like there is no check-in. That just means that I will not scratch out the negative. Yep, no autosave. At any point. It might be a moot point, except that you can easily die at various points. Also, we have no quest marker. And no clear path. Like, we have here, but I don't know if that's backtracking or... That might be a way forward. Hopefully it is. We have nothing like saying that our signal's jammed or that there's a reason why we can't tell where to go next. Is this backtracking? I think we're backtracking at this point. Shit. We might have another information negative on our hands. Oh, wait, no, we can see. Barely. But we can see. But I am kind of pissed, so I feel like I was looking for reasons to give this more negatives. And I apologize for anyone who actually likes this mission.
Geth dropship detected.
I could even give it a control positive because I think that the um I'm gonna save that for um the end of this mission. But if we manage to get through it all the way without dying again, and maybe if we do die again, but um, if we die again and it feels like it's my fault, then that'll just contribute to me thinking about giving it a positive. But I'm not sure about whether or not the environmental hazards is there a positive or a negative. Um, like so far they don't deserve a negative, but I'm not sure if they deserve a positive because they're kind of stressing me out. Like even though they're well designed so far, um,
Warning. Geth forces detected.
I really want a quick save. Come on, we have this one artifact left. I also kind of like the fact that we have a little bit of an advantage. I think our weapons seem to have a little more range than theirs do. Also, their AI is a little stupid, which could be a negative. I mean, look at this. They're doing the Gef Colossus dance. What the hell? I mean, this isn't gonna get rid of any negatives because the lack of checkpoints is still bad. The lack of the ability to save on your own is still bad. The fact that you have. I could potentially debate the idea of getting rid of the health indicator negative and replace it with a positive because you can take cover. You have a way of dealing with it. And this. I mean, I still think it deserves a negative again, simply for accessibility reasons. Like I believe we have all the subtitles turned on that we can have turned on. Um, It's funny that my Samsung monitor is considered a generic PNP monitor. Um, where exactly would gameplay? Yeah, subtitles are on, so there's no subtitles for the sound effect. So I mean, for that alone, for accessibility alone, I'm gonna keep the negative. Like a combination of that and the fact that you know you still like while you have enough room and enough control, like the best I can do is cancel it out with like a control positive for having proper cover, for having the fact that it's designed generally in a way where like taking cover or keeping your distance can help. Um, the fact that it seems that like your own range, although it seems to be a bit of derpy AI too, but um, I'm not sure where to give a derpy AI in this instance a negative. Granted, I'm a wimp. Like I'm on casual difficulty. Um, so anything that makes the game easier, like it's not gonna. I'm not gonna go so far as to give it a positive per se. Um, like I might even mention that like the AI is a little derpy. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna mention that, like I don't know. Like I might debate whether or not the range thing is going to be a positive or a part of the. No, it's going to get a positive. I at this point, I mean, I'm going to wait until the mission is actually properly done because who knows what's going to happen after this. And once again, no autosave. Okay, we can just end the mission. Okay, so we'll give a positive to cancel out a negative, but it's still going to be there. And considering that there are already two control negatives, um, also it may also be out of consideration for higher difficulties too, because taking cover or you know uh, keeping your distance may not be as viable a choice on higher difficulties. Doesn't get rid of the positive that it is viable here, and that's probably going to help even on higher difficulties. It's just that maybe the AI is a little smarter, or they have a little more range, or I don't know how that affects things, um, but that's kind of my point. I may make just a neutral note. Actually, I'm gonna say it isn't terribly difficult. I'm still, again, the lack of checkpoints and the lack of um I mean, once again, because I'm on casual difficulty, like it, I imagined it could be even aggravating at higher difficulties. Um, Colossi. I'm just gonna say Colossuses. I'm just gonna bring it up. I don't think it's a. It is affecting my personal enjoyment of the game. I was gonna say it looked like they were doing a dance. I'm not saying that bugs that um, make the game easier
You've received a new message at your private terminal.
are positive or a good thing, but I'm saying they're not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we are kind of reviewing the game as it plays on casual difficulty. Actually, I think the scenic thing might be part of the overlord mission. I may have read this. We're gonna check out that one system. Um, Not Born, the other one. Poor child. Just in case there might be some anomalies. I think we may have covered all the anomalies already, but for sake of completion, I can't necessarily give a negative for the fact that every single system doesn't have an anomaly. Because
Reserves at 50%.
I may still give a negative for the inability to sell gathered resources. Considering how abundant they are, or generally abundant they are. I'm gonna say it's a problem. I could describe it as annoying because that's too subjective to call it annoying. I was gonna say it's a problem. Um, where the only point of exploration is completionism and hunting for anomalies which aren't. True, the economy would have to be the in-game economy would have to be rebalanced drastically to accommodate. I'm gonna say a very small chance the player could lock themselves out from upgrades. I feel the feature would do more good than harm if they were to employ it. This would also be another kind of thing I consider doing in a quasi remaster remake scenario. I love the fact that, well, maybe maybe you could offset the um the like what do I call it, like the risk of the player locking themselves out of upgrades by making this something that you would get like the ability to sell minerals until late in the game. The only problem is the economy. Granted, it may also mean you wouldn't have to change the economy that much because if it's a late game feature, then it's probably going to be when you're just going to be buying everything up anyway. I don't know. But it would still be tricky. Especially if we're talking about, again, the idea of doing a sort of half. Um, since we just fought Geth, I'm assuming I can do these in any order because that's how I'll do them. Um,
I have detected an anomaly. Launching probe. I have found something.
and I have automated defenses, so we have to deal with that. Also, it just feels weird that we are able to select the squad even though. Hey, it's not a volcanic planet at least.
Kinetic barrier detected. Kinetic barrier strength beyond conventional weapon capability. Recommend disabling power sources.
Maybe we can deal with these a lot faster than Oh, this is cool. Like you can trace them back to their. This could get information positive.
Kinetic barrier strength reduced.
What would you? I don't know. I think we could do Overlord before this. Then I think it's just.
Kinetic barrier strength reduced.
And going so that we can tell which ones we haven't done yet. Let's call it the barrier firewalker mission. Okay. I should get pretty good at writing quickly. Although it might look like chicken scratch if I had to actually try and type it out later. Okay. Um. Not sure if that's how we're meant to get up there or not, but
Kinetic barrier strength reduced.
also, weren't there some enemies here before? Did you just like inadvertently despawn them? Okay, control negative. Maybe. That's
Kinetic
there.
barrier strength reduced. Kinetic barrier deactivated. Path is clear.
Good. Fairly dodge negative. We're actually gonna see some ground combat this time. We can fight these things. If we're really that desperate. Something spectacular. Time, however, has proven to be the real enemy. Even with those blue sun fire thugs hired to protect the dig site, we barely managed to erect the shield before the Geth arrived. How can they know our movements almost before we do? Am I beaming bots directly to them? I must find out how they are doing this. I shall ask Oloy for whatever help he can provide.
Dr. Aloy must have been indoctrinated by the Reapers. I found him sending our data to a Geth ship. I won't be responsible for another Geth attack, another Eden Prime. I've silenced Aloy. Forever.
It was also possible that he was indoctrinated to do that.
I'll take it.
It's too late for me. They're still in my head, stealing my thoughts. I can't keep them out. I've got no choice but to destroy this relic. And myself.
Dr. Casey could never understand the deal I made with the collectors. He obsessed with these Propians. He would sacrifice everything to learn their secrets. It nearly cost me my life, but I did it for you, Helen, to ensure you remain safe. The damn collectors agreed to spare your colony in exchange for this Propian find. I can only hope you remain innocent of any of its ugly business. It was all for you. What? Dark. I did all this terrible shit, but it was all for you! That doesn't make me feel indirectly guilty at all. I think we found one of these things in Mass Effect 2. Or Mass Effect 1, rather. I'm sure we found it in Mass Effect 2.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
We've completed biotic damage. And we got our heavy weapon armor. Or ammo, rather. Oh, hey, Ellie. Hey, Ellie. You're just really liking the lay on my lap today, aren't you? And we can see our, although it's weird that we don't get anything from, like, touching it. Because the last one we got, like, this whole thing of, like, seeing our, or, like, the Neanderthal ancestors, how we get chip implanted in us from... A third discovery. The burst of energy that coincided with your retrieval of the Propian artifact contained coded information. Most of the data was beyond our ability to track, but the threads we were able to decrypt have provided new avenues of research on energy transfer and biotics. It will keep the scientists busy for years to come. It indicates that the artifact is currently inert and not dangerous. We wonder, however, if Dr. Casey had more time, what we have unlocked the secrets. We will continue his research. A landmark find for humanity. Good work, Shepard. I might go ahead and wrap up Firewalker, especially now that I have a kitty in my lap. Not really feeling particularly great right now, and I'm feeling like I might be hungry besides, even though I What? No! I think I hit the wrong button. Like, the fact that there are like things like this where there's like one planet or like there's no anomalies is less a matter of the lack of anomalies in every system and more a matter of the lack of a point to scanning these planets at this point.
Anomaly detected.
I'm kind of ignoring the fact that we could be just using a walkthrough to find
I have found
where
something.
each of the anomalies is and then just ignoring everything else. Because that's kind of cheating. And even if you could do this with a walkthrough, like, that's still its own problem. That's still an information problem. I mean, right now it's a control problem, but I think it's a control problem, yeah. It's basically it stems from a control problem.
Warning. Prolonged exposure to extreme temperatures may degrade engine performance. Mission objectives located.
And they'll show our engine temperature, but would they?
Engine temperature stabilizing.
Oh. But they won't show our actual shield health.
Engine temperature falling. Extraction complete.
It's weird that simply being in proximity of this apparent heat source doesn't actually.
Caution. Engine temperature falling. Extraction complete.
I wonder if I should give it like a control positive for
Caution. Engine temperature falling.
or one providing the information.
Extraction complete.
Well, probably more of a control positive in this case, actually. Like the information is like should be there. This is an instance where absence of information is a negative, but presence is not necessarily a positive.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters. Extraction complete. Caution. Engine temperature falling. Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
I forgot about that feature. Like so far, I'm considering it a positive for control because so far we're able to, you know, the lack of control over like a well-employed time limit or you know
I believe we've done it.
but there's one node left. It's what it is called a Geth incursion thing, but we're not actually fighting. This offers variety and a reasonable element of challenge. Let's see if I think we may have done all the fireworker stuff.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Atmospheric data received. A very capable team is analyzing data you gathered from the GAP's research into atmospheric change. We hope it may open up new avenues for terraforming procedures for future colonies. Tech used in the beacons also contains communication innovations that may help us develop better systems to reduce atmospheric noise. There is no evidence of propane activity on this planet. I might go ahead and head to Chunka and buy some stuff there. I'm probably gonna, especially since it is a little bit out of the way, I'm probably gonna, yeah, the master relay is closer.
Fuel reserves at 50%.
Because I want to look into buying any remaining like upgrades or stuff from. I'm not sure if I got everything onto Drunkard yet or not.
Take your business to the clan leader, and keep your running pet on a short leash. Get him the right soon or put him down.
Do you know what's wrong with him? What he needs?
There's nothing wrong with him. Just go speak to the clan leader.
Why is this armor pieces? If I can't find anything here, just actually an upgrade type thing. I might go ahead and buy that just for the heck of it. I'm not sure about the Pyjack, and I feel like doing the Pyjack minigame. I mean, I could review it, I guess.
I'll take it.
Okay, well. Okay, we've maxed out biotic damage. Ellie, I'm gonna need to get up soon.
These things would last longer if they didn't hit it. Ignore them, bro. They're not worth the effort.
Also a good way to remind myself what I plan to do next. I'm not gonna make any promises about whether or not I'm gonna do another part today. It is kind of late, and there's a bunch of stuff I want to watch on YouTube anyway, so I'm gonna have to work tomorrow. But I do kind of prefer to not disrupt my sleep schedule too much. Oh. Anyway, you can kind of see just the tip of her ear. She does have cute ears, so it's not entirely bad. So if the internet could see more of her. Yeah. Maybe able to hear that a little bit. Meow. And we need to talk some more. We need to test the microphone's ability to pick up your meows. Meow. Do that again. I kind of seem to get picked up by the mic. As long as NVIDIA broadcast doesn't get rid of cat meows. But those are very important. It is incredibly important that the internet be able to hear your cute meows. You just purr a little bit. Anyway, there's a bunch of things you can do to take a few seconds of your time. Also, support us on Patreon. By us, I mean myself and my kitty. And pretty Ellie. I mean, it's mostly for her. She's the star of her show, after all. Anyway, there's Minecraft Realm you can check out if you're so inclined. It is for Bedrock. So all Bedrock platforms, which includes Windows 10 Edition, as well as the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series. I'm not sure about like Wii U. Switch version is compatible. I'm not sure about Wii U, and I'm not sure about like I think it's 7th gen consoles. Yeah, I'm not sure about 7th gen consoles, whether or not they are compatible with I had to plug in my Xbox 360 to see if it's compatible with Realms, or if that version's even still being actively updated. But anyway, regardless of any of that, I thank you for watching, and until next time,